Welcome to Biztech's APAC Cybersecurity Show. Hi, I'm Brian Fernandez, and today we spotlight Group IB, a global leader in combating cybercrime. Founded in 2003 and headquartered in Singapore, Group IB is a leading provider of innovations and solutions for counteracting cyber attacks, eliminating fraud, and protecting brands worldwide. Now, to tell us more about the company and its origin story, we've got Mr. Dmitry Volkov. He's the CEO and co-founder of Group IB. Now, Dmitry, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me on this show. Very keen to know more about what is really interesting for your audience. And let's start this conversation.
Yeah, certainly. So, Dmitry, as a starting point, tell us about how you started Group IB and how you've grown over the last 20 odd years.
Okay, so we started the company more than 20 years ago. So I was a student in the first course of my education. I entered the leading technical university to study cybersecurity. And this is where I met my partners at that time. And we very quickly understood that we studied very boring discipline because it was more about theoretical knowledge. And we were very hungry for some practical expertise to know more about threat actors, how they behave, how they operate, how they manage actually to bypass all these cybersecurity controls that many companies had at that time and haven't even now, but still the number of incidents you see keep growing every year. So we started to research what they can do to get more practical knowledge. And quickly, we came up with the idea that it will be good to start digital forensic and incident response services because this is how you analyze the real cyber attacks. And by doing this, you're starting to collect knowledge about threat actors, their behavior, tools that they use, and many other interesting things, very practical things that at that moment were not very popular in my cybersecurity community because people were thinking more about compliance, some procedures, how to comply with standards and other things. So having these digital forensic and incident response services, we started to collect the knowledge. And now we're having, I would say, probably the biggest historical threat intelligence database that influence our mission, influence our expertise and technology leaderships. And the mission of the company that we created is to fight against cybercrime. So the reason why, because having all this incident response that we did in different regions, we quickly understood that it doesn't matter what security solutions you have, what security practice you have, and so on. Threat actors always ahead of you. We're always able to bypass anything that you have or may not even have, but it doesn't matter. So that's why to stop cyber criminals, this is the root cause of any problems that we're having right now, to stop people who conduct these attacks, to stop people who analyze how to bypass security controls and so on. So that's why we quickly understood that it's not just enough to do incident response and digital forensics. We need to be able to investigate, and I mean in this case to understand where is threat actors are based, who they are, I mean real identities, how we work, and what if we could start to work with law enforcement to share this intelligence with them to stop them. And this is how we started our collaboration with Interpol, Europol, Afripol, and other local law enforcement agencies, because this is what really stopped threat actors. And this became a motto of the company. It really drives because it's provides a social effect. We don't just closing holes in cybersecurity. This is also an important part of that. But we eliminate the root cause of problem.
So tell us then, tell us a little bit about your collaboration with Interpol, Europol, and Afripol. What do you actually do with them? And what are some of the success stories perhaps you can share as a result of this partnership with these three agencies?
Okay, so the most recent success story in Asia was just announced last week. I think it was on Friday, together with Singapore Police Force, Hong Kong Police Force, and Malaysian Royal Police. we managed to identify threat actors who were responsible for managing Android malware to steal funds from customers of different banks in the region. And this operation took about 1 year to identify threat actors, to analyze how they operate, and to work across borders with law enforcement to stop them. And it was a very successful operation. Another interesting example was with Interpol, when we managed to identify threat actors in Brazil. They managed a botnet also developed for Android devices to steal funds. And again, we managed to stop them. Also, you know that phishing is scam is one of the most popular method how threat actors trick users to send them money. So, and there's a big ecosystem around that. They have shops, they have platforms, so many young people can join them and do it on a massive scale. And they have this special phishing as a service platforms. And sometimes they manage hundreds of thousands phishing websites. And it is important to stop not just money mules, not just these young people who attracted this ecosystem, but the core team who created this platform, who engage on underground forums, who motivate to join these affiliate programs, because it is an affiliate program. And again, with Interpol, threat actors were arrested. It is a 16-shop case, and these guys were actually developing phishing kits that targeted Germany, Japan, France, United States, United Kingdom, Thailand, for example, so many different countries. And there are many others. For example, one of the success stories we had with, again, Interpol, Afripol, and even our client, Orange Telecom. It's a big French telecom organization, and they have their own computer emergency response team. And working together, we identified that there is a threat actor who is able to get initial access into the banking systems, directly to the banking systems, and manipulating with credit cards, with SWIFT payment systems, and so on. So he was able to do transactions, having access to internal, very sensitive systems, and he was operating like a bank inside of different banks. And he compromised dozens of banks, and it took more than a year to find his partners, to find his real location. And then finally, he was arrested together with police force in Côte d'Ivoire because he was based there. And there are many other successful operations with Europol, and the last one was regarding digital scheming actions. That means that some commercial websites who sell goods, they may become a victim of cyber attack, and that allows threat actors to collect information about credit cards, personal information of the visitors of the website, steal this information, and of course then use to in different fraudulent actions. So we managed together with Europol and some other partners to identify more than 400 merchants in Europe whose websites were compromised, infected, and data about, financial data were collected by threat actors. And of course, it prevented thousands of operations. Cybercriminal operations, cybercriminal attacks. And this is the beauty of doing investigations with, in a digital space, because in the real world, you arrest people and you prevent probably dozens of future cyber attacks. When you act in a digital space, you prevent dozens and sometimes hundreds of thousands future attacks. And this is, of course, what motivates everyone who works with us.
Dmitry, it's fascinating. But at the scale, obviously, at the bad actors are operating right now, literally stealing as a service is the modus operandi. Tell us then about how in 2024, your suite of products and services, which obviously you use with law enforcement like Interpol, Europol, and Afripol, tell us how they impact us as normal companies, corporations around the Asia-Pacific region, for example.
Again, so all our technologies develop with the DNA to be able to investigate. This is a core thing. So first of all, we understand that investigation will take time, probably a year, maybe 2 years, sometimes it's even longer. But during this period, we need to protect client. We need to protect the infrastructure. We need to protect clients of our client. If we're talking about financial industry, for example, we need to protect against fraud. We need to protect brand and so on. So that's why we provide solutions that allows clients and us to detect threats, prevent threats, and at the same time collect knowledge about the behavior, about different tools used by actors that we use to prevent, and identify who they are. And usually, what really bothers our clients, especially board of directors or owners of business, that we don't want to act reactively. We want to make sure that their business is in safe next 3-5 years. So that's why using our technology, they protect in a short period of time. We identify who are the key threats, threat actors for this particular business. And our goal is to stop that key threat actors, because if you don't stop them, what you will get in the next 3 years, they will become more mature. They will convince other cyber criminals to join their network. And at the end of the day, the number of incidents that this business will face in the next 3 years, if we don't stop these actors, will be bigger. The impact will be bigger. So that's why this is the goal.
Now, Dmitry, besides the law enforcement agencies, you've also got an interesting partnership with SOC CMM. Tell us about that and how that impacts us as companies in the Asia-Pacific region.
Well, first of all, you know that they started, SOC CMM started as a scientific research project. And then we understood this is a very good success story to measure how different SOCs operate. And we know that any SOC, Security Operations Center, is a key point that responsible for protection of different businesses and of course providing services. So we already have this unique visibility about what happens in the region, how threat actors operate, what companies are under attack, how exactly they are under attack. So we have this practical vision. And that's why when we...
Dmitry, can I just stop you there? Just for the benefit of the audience, I'm just going to define SOC CMM as a capability maturity model and self-assessment tool for security operations centers. So that then sets the framework. So go ahead, please.
Thank you. So what is the next step? When you assess your security operations center, what else you need to do? You need to have a very specific plan how to move from, I don't know, some basic level to next level, how to level up, what kind of expertise you need, what new technologies you need, and these technologies must be not the technology that will protect from yesterday's threats, not from today's threats, but what the threats that you will face maybe tomorrow or in the nearest future. So that's why we provide this knowledge. We also have our own framework how we assess security operations centers. They have trainings that helps to prepare experts with practical knowledge. And of course, we provide them with unique technologies. For example, SOC. Usually, the traditional model thinks about just the pure cybersecurity. But now we need to think a little bit more wider, because it's a fusion of cybersecurity, brand protection, and in many cases, fraud protection. Because let's take e-commerce, financial industry, retail, let it be aviation industry, all of them facing fraud. And even if it's a government organization, they're also facing fraud. That's why fraud protection must be also a part of Security Operations Center. And having this knowledge, we help them to level up the expertise, technologies, and practices.
Now, one of the things that you are also doing now, and you are based in Singapore, your headquarters is in Singapore, you're also expanding into Latin America. Tell us about the opportunities that you see there and perhaps some of the challenges as well.
Well, we're starting our expansion to Latin America from Chile, and team is there. So first, Chief Regional Officer, our digital forensic and incident response experts arrived already in the region. So what we see, this is a very unique region. Usually, some threat actors who operate in Asia and the Middle East are the same. Not usually, but sometimes they are the same.
Okay.
But in Latin America, it's completely different. We have very mature cyber criminals. They have tools that they use only in the region, and we don't see them, for example, in Middle East, in Europe, or in Asia. So the threat landscape is completely different, and this is a challenge, and of course, this is an opportunity. And having our presence in the region, in Latin America, it will provide us first visibility regarding local threats, and it will help us to provide better support for clients in the region and tailored intelligence about cyber criminals and tailored technologies that will be better adopted to protect local businesses. And the same approach we apply actually in every region. But Latin America is a very interesting region for us. I would say one more challenge is it is very far in terms of
Okay.
because of time difference, and sometimes it's really hard to work together because of time difference.
Now, you've also got digital crime resistance centers around. Tell us how they fit into your overall global strategy.
Well, first of all, what kind of company we are building? Our model is to become the first cybersecurity decentralized company. That means it's independent from all other regions. And that means that we serve interest of local businesses and local community in the region. This is extremely important because if you take a look on other cybersecurity companies, usually they have presence, let's say, in one location, and main cybersecurity companies are based in the United States and in Israel, and they have their headquarters there. And in other regions, they have sales representatives, people and the team who are responsible for business. And we use completely different approach. We try to localize everything. So first of all, we move technical experts in the region. Digital forensic, incident response, cybercrime investigations, computer emergency response team. So people who understand what really happens in the region in terms of threat actors, again, and how we operate.
And this is really interesting because you just told us that Latin America, as an example, is very, very unique. And I can see then how your approach then will probably execute better in that region because it's a localized approach to solving the issues.
That's right. And the same we have in Asia. Local teams who understand everything that happens in the region, and we use this knowledge for research, better support of the client, and what is very important, knowledge transfer, because we want to invest in the region, in cybersecurity community, in the country, in the region. And it's really important because this is what client needs. The second thing, what's also part of our mission, is to work with local law enforcement agencies, because usually threat actors that attack business in the region are based in the region. So that's why when you work with local law enforcement, you are able to stop them. And again, this is an important part of our strategy and part of a digital crime resistance center. And the third piece is work with local universities. Again, this is part of our investments. For example, in Singapore, we worked closely with NP Polytechnic. So we will launch a special project. We see it's actually based it's everywhere. The problem of education, but everyone tries to provide theoretical knowledge. That's why when these experts, not experts, students go to a real life work, they're facing a lot of problems. They are not adopted. And everyone as a company wants to get a practical expert who knows what to do, how to deal with real threats to defend. And we provide access to threat intelligence, to information about threat actors' behavior. They can analyze in real time real threats, protect their campus, the university campus, and protect even startups who are linked to the university or polytechnic in this case. And providing these cybersecurity services, we get a real practical experience how to detect, how to prevent, how to investigate, how to deploy and manage cybersecurity solutions. That means that we are very well prepared when we finish the university and go to the real life work.
Dmitry, it's been a fascinating conversation. I've really learned a lot. But before we leave, any final thoughts you'd like to share with the audience, particularly your future plans for Group IB moving forward?
Of course. So first of all, it's about expansion. So because we have a presence now in Asia Pacific region, in Europe, Middle East, Central Asia, now opening Latin America. Next year, we'll open our presence in North America because this is a blind spot, let's say, for us. And it is very important to have full visibility about threat actors because it helps us to predict what will happen in other regions. Because if we see something emerging, let it be Latin America, the same approach could be applied by threat actors next year in Asia, or particularly in Singapore. And this is important knowledge. So the second point is, of course, knowledge collection, because without knowledge collection from the region or from the global regions, it is impossible to create tailored technologies. So knowledge collection is a key point here. And one of our key goals is to know more than any other about cyber threats. And the third piece, of course, cybersecurity technologies. We want to keep our technological leadership. So that's why, again, knowledge and visibility help us to do this. Of course, we will invest more in artificial intelligence, because if you don't do it right now, you will lose this race very, very soon, because it transforms cybersecurity in other industries, of course, very fast. And all our technologies developed in-house, and we will keep doing this. And the next thing that is really important in terms of technologies, we want to shift from just detection and simple prevention to a predictive technologies. Because when you, as a leader of the company, wants to know what will happen with your company in the future in terms of cybersecurity, we must come up with a clear answer about not just high-level threats or high-level explanation, but a very detailed and tailored for your business. What happens in your region, what happens in your country, where you have business, what happens with your industry, what will happen with your company, who are these actors who are going to attack you, how exactly, and what proactive measures you need to take to save your business. So the development of predictive technologies is another key area for us.
Dmitry, thank you very much for taking your time to be in the show. It's been fascinating.
Brian, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Now, we've been speaking to Dmitry Volkov. He's the CEO and co-founder of Group IB. I'm Brian Fernandez, and you've been watching and listening to Biztech's APAC Cybersecurity Show. Now, this interview will be on our website, www.biztech.asia, as well as our syndication partners, TV stations, radio stations, and websites. Thanks a lot for tuning in.